All right, joining me once again here on the Matthew Filipowicz Show is my friend Mychal Denzel Smith. Mychal is a writer for Salon, Feministing, and The Nation magazine, which you can find at thenation.com. You can also find him on Twitter at Mychal Smith. Mychal, thank you so much for being on the show again.
Thanks for having me, Matt.
All right, so Mychal, in the last couple of weeks, we have obviously seen the non-indictments of the police officers in the deaths of Michael Brown and Eric Garner, and actually many other cases of police violence that non-indictments were handed down. We've seen protests break out all over the country. I guess I'd first like to ask you, what is your overall big picture reaction to all that's happened in the last couple of weeks?
A big, heavy sigh. That is my reaction. None of it is shocking. None of it's surprising. It's all very heart-wrenching, though. Add to that list the dismissal of the charges of the police officer who shot and killed Aiyana Jones in Detroit, the 7-year-old who was asleep on her couch as the cops raided her home and opened fire. The first trial was a mistrial. They were charging him again, and the charges were just dropped. So add that to the list, and then, not just the charges being dropped or no indictments. In that time, we've also had other high-profile killings of black people. Tamir Rice in Cleveland, 12-year-old shot by police when he's holding a toy gun. Akai Gurley in Brooklyn, who was shot by a police officer on accident in the Pink House housing project because the police officer was just patrolling with his gun out and got scared and shot someone. Tanisha Anderson, again in Cleveland, who was slammed to the ground and killed by police. So yeah, it's been a really depressing time, but also in really important ways, inspiring to see the ways people have reacted to all of this turmoil and tragedy. Because after the non-indictment, you can talk about after the killing of Michael Brown in St. Louis in Ferguson. It's been 100. Where are we at this point? 120 something days since that killing, and people have been out in the streets every single day since then. But it's only ramped up in more solidarity across the country after the non-indictment came down, with actions in over 170 cities. It was that the Tuesday after the decision came down. They're talking about people shutting down public transportation, people shutting down highways, people doing die-ins at shopping malls, just all kinds of really important activist work out there. And then the non-indictment in the case of Daniel Pantaleo killing Eric Garner just galvanized all of these people in New York City and re-energized some people across the country to get out there and really shut it down. That's the chant is shut it down, indict the system, disrupt business as usual, because business as usual means unarmed black people are being shot dead in the street. The Black Friday blackout, where no one wants to talk about that 11% drop in sales, and accredit it to the work of organizers saying we're not going to shop on this day and we're going to send a message. Black America is going to send a message about the value of black life through the language that America understands, which is the dollar. So these are really amazing, important times that I wish we didn't have to live through. But I'm glad that if we're going to be faced with police repression and violence and brutality, the response from the people has not been to sit back and be quiet about it.
It does really feel, and we've had you on to talk about this and covered this on the show a good deal, but you and I have had this conversation, I don't even know how many times we've talked about this, of just the devaluing of police life, but it does feel like something has changed here, at least in kind of overall feeling. It feels like that people are really together on this at the moment. The people in the streets who are really, really going after this. I want to get to a piece you wrote at The Nation, because this is actually really important, because I also feel that so much of this is you hear President Obama saying, proposing putting some body cameras on cops, and that's actually the solution. And you have a really important piece up at The Nation on how little solutions like that actually really are not actual solutions. They're really just it's not something that's really going to change the problem, because again, Eric Garner was on video. The entire thing was caught on tape, and nothing happened. So talk a little bit about kind of the big question that you write in the piece is what now?
Yeah, there was almost just like a really bad movie script there that, President Obama could meet with 7 young activists, civil rights leaders, and then come out with this plan about how he's going to put $75 million worth of federal money towards body cameras. Body cameras for only 50,000 of over 700,000 law enforcement agents across the country, mind you. But, it's 50,000 body cameras for police. And then, like, the next day, we get this non-indictment in the case of Eric Garner to basically say to the president and everyone that has been advocating for body cameras, okay, so what now? Like, you've told us that the cameras are going to be the thing that hold police accountable. So here it is on film. Like, we have the entire interaction. We have the entire aftermath of his killing right there. And yet no one is going to be held responsible for this. A grand jury decided that no one needs to be held responsible in his death. And so, and it's about, like, it's about massaging around the injustice. Like, we're getting to this where we want to, like, make these little reforms that basically keep everything intact as they are, but provide little measures of accountability that are meant to try to quell dissent. But I think more and more people just are understanding that it's the design of the system. Like, the police are a repressive force by design. They are out there doing their jobs. That's why you don't get indictments of people when they kill people, when they harass people, when they're brutalizing people. This is their job. Like, this is built into the job description. It's why some of them sign up. Like, they want to be this violent. And so we have to deal with that, and we have to deal with the fact that we have an unjust and racist system of laws. We're by that token, we're going by necessity, we're going to have racist and unjust police officers because their job is upholding the law. It is law enforcement. What laws are they enforcing? They're racist and unjust. So it doesn't matter what faces you put in that lineup, and you say, oh, well, if we get more police officers from the communities that police these places, or we get more Black and Latino officers who understand these communities and can relate to people, if we build more trust with the community, if we have more interactions that are positive with the community. I mean, sure, but you're still going to be enforcing racist and unjust laws. So yes, you can have them go out and play basketball with the kids one day, but the next day they have to go back to stopping and frisking them because that's just baked into the system. So we have to just understand, and I think that, this gets at why, like, you have discussions around like things like sexual assault, and why police aren't going to be able to solve that problem. Well, sexual assault is a means of repression and oppression, and so are the police. So they're not going to be able to counterbalance that. Like, they are a force for repression. They're not going to be able to eliminate another repressive force. So we have to understand that, and we have to start applying anti-racist, anti-oppression language and analysis to the ways in which we deal with policing, because right now we're applying the language of diversity and sensitivity and accountability, but who and what are they to be held accountable to? Like, they are doing exactly what they've been designed to do. So if we don't rethink the entire system, and people ask me, so what does that look like? I don't know at this point, because right now,
Mychal, no, you have to have it. You have to have the entire plan written out. You have to have your own constitution, your new ways of doing things. You need to have that.
I have to come up with it myself. I have to be
for everybody, and yours is the solution that's going to be taken. Yours is you get to choose how the country goes from now on. Tell us now, or be quiet.
Right, I need to be an entire Continental Congress myself. Right.